Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Teach in Thailand podcast, where we talk all things teaching and Thailand. Today I am here at the Sine head office with our fantastic FTA visa team, and we're here to tell you all about the ins and outs of visas and work permits, as well as all of the support that these guys offer for our teachers throughout their time with us at Sine. So let's get straight into it. And we're going to start by talking about the visas. So, what actual visa do you guys obtain for our teachers?
We assist our teacher to obtain for a non-B visa.
Awesome. Okay, the non-B visa. How long does that process take?
It takes around 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks. Okay, it's quite a long time, isn't it? So why is it that it takes that long?
It's because of due to the amount of paperwork, immigration wasting time, immigration processing time, and the school constraints as well.
Okay, so there's obviously a lot of different things there that kind of take some time, right?
Exactly.
All right, so then one of the biggest questions our teachers often ask us before they start is, why can't we start this process and obtain this non-B before they've even arrived?
So before we can submit the documents to the local education office, the teacher must arrive in Thailand and apply for a criminal background check. The result can take 2 weeks.
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot then involved in this whole process. We get quite a lot of teachers that are currently in Thailand. Maybe they've been here for 6 months studying Thai and they want to now stay and work here. We have teachers that are here on marriage visas and all sorts of different visas, and then they will often ask us, oh, it's okay, I already have a visa, I don't need a non-B, I have this visa. But can our teachers work on any of these other visas?
No, it must be a non-B visa in order to get a work permit.
Okay, so you need the non-B visa and the work permit to then be able to work here legally, right? So to teach with us, you need that non-B and you need that work permit in order to stay long-term. So the visa process, it's all complete. You send our teachers an email and you say, your visa paperwork is ready. So they now have to do the infamous visa run. Why do they need to do this visa run?
Teacher, we need to do visa run because to obtain the non-B visa in Thailand, they need your degree complete with notarized, legalized, and certified at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Thailand. In addition, some of immigration require all of these documents complete with translate into Thai. While applying for non-B visa of Thailand, that we call visa run, they're not required for this document.
Okay, that makes sense. You Google it and you see all of these different requirements that are needed. So, to do all of this application and to stay in Thailand and not need to do a visa run, there is a massive amount of additional paperwork the teachers would need to provide, right? So, we make it simple by saying, just go out of the country, submit this paperwork to the embassy in Laos. All they require is the degree, the transcripts, and the passport, right? So it's a lot easier, a lot quicker, makes life a lot better. But how long does this process take? Does the visa run itself take?
You went alone. It takes up to 15 days.
Oh, that's long.
Yes, that's long. But so we recommend they travel with agency. It takes only 3 days.
That's much better. So I have known people since I've been living out here in Thailand that have had to do this visa run process by themselves, and they have literally been sitting around waiting in Laos for up to 15 days, up to 2 weeks. That's the reason why we send all of our teachers with an agency to do this visa run. They guide you from the border, they meet you in Thailand on the Thai side, guide you to the border, they give the paperwork over to the officers at the border. They tell you, right, this is the bus you'll get on. You then get on a bus, you drive across the border into Laos. Another representative from the agency will meet you on that side as well. They will then take you to the embassy to submit your paperwork, take you to a hotel. You're then in a hotel for that night for another full day, have a wander around Laos for a day, and then on that third day, the agency will pick you back up again, take you back to immigration. You'll pick up your passport, which then has your non-B stamp in there, and then you are able to then come back into Thailand. We try and make that process really, really easy for our teachers by completing all of the paperwork and provide agency to do that visa run. So the next question then is, how much does this actually cost?
Okay, so the total cost is 14,000 baht, but you will need to pay 9,000 baht, and Sine will cover for you 5,000 baht. And then you will get the reimbursed 9,000 baht once you complete the contract. But if you work in Bangkok or Khon Kaen, so you don't need to do the visa run, but you still need to pay the same cost. Yeah, because of the additional process required something.
Whether you work in Bangkok, Khon Kaen, or outside of either of those two cities, you're going to pay 9,000 baht for this process. That 9,000 baht covers everything. It covers going with the agency to do the visa run. If you're not doing the visa run, then that 9,000 baht covers the additional processing required to process you within Bangkok. There are some things here when working in Thailand you just have to accept that that is the way that it is. Something that's really important to remember is every immigration office here has their own rules, right?
Yes.
They have their own way of processing, their own way of working, their own turnaround times. The head of each immigration has their own way that they like things done, which means that these guys are constantly navigating ever-changing rules, ever-changing regulations, and also dealing with the different immigrations. So whatever these guys direct you to do, take it that that's what you need to do. Don't question, oh, well, I saw this person on the internet did this. I heard my friend in this school did this. Well, the way that it works here with us, you will pay 9,000 baht. Now, that 9,000 baht, we reimburse that to you at the end of your contract. So then people then say to us, well, why do I have to pay it up front in the first place? Now, you just listened to 5 minutes worth of these guys telling you about all of the process involved in getting that paperwork ready for you. So, we ask you to pay the 9,000 baht up front as a kind of safety net for us to help us really be sure that you're going to stay here and complete your contract. When you complete your contract, that very last payday that you have, so your last salary before the holidays, is inclusive of that 9,000 baht reimbursement. We just ask you to pay up front as a bit of a safety net for us and for these guys and for the work that they've put into that visa to mean that you stay and complete your contract. All right, so our teacher, you've done all that process, they've got their non-B, they have their passport, they've come back into the country from Laos, and now it's time for the work permit, right? So, how long does it take to apply for that work permit?
So the process will take 6 to 8 weeks, as same before, because before you can get a work permit, you will need to have a temporary teaching permit.
We will do a whole other episode on the cruciper, on the teaching permits, on the new modules that have been introduced, because very recently there's been a big load of changes to the teaching permits, and there's now a lot of new requirements that are kind of still being in the process of all being firmed out. Just know that as soon as you've got your non-B visa, we will then start processing your work permit. Something that our teachers then ask us is, why can't we apply for the non-B and for the work permit at the same time?
Okay, because we need a non-B visa information in order to processing a temporary teaching permit and work permit.
Okay, so again, it's one of those. It's just the way that it is. We're going to need that work. We need that non-B before you guys can finalise the paperwork for the work permit. You'll get an email to say that your work permit is ready. You can then go and collect the work permit, or your work permit will be brought to you. I think it depends on the location of the school, right? So once you have your work permit, you will then go to immigration and extend your non-B visa to the length of your work permit. Your work permit end date is the end date of your contract, because that's when you finish working. If you choose to renew, don't worry, these guys will extend your visa, extend your work permit to your next contract, and so on and so forth. once you have your work permit and your non-B visa and have been extended and they're all the same time, you are then finished. Yay! You're complete, you're able to be here for as long as your contract is. Now, visas, work permits, that's already loads and loads of things that you have to do, but it's not everything you do, right? Yes. No, okay. So what else do you guys help our teachers with?
So our team will also help our teacher with the 90-day report, apply for the re-entry permit, and support with the health insurance reimbursement, follow up with the criminal background check, and also we will help you with the TM30 resident notification document.
So lots of other little very, very important things. Now, if you're watching this and you know, are just starting to think about Thailand, or then a 90-day report, a re-entry permit, a TM30 means kind of not a whole lot, I'm sure. But they are all very, very important things. So the TM30, this is a legal requirement for your landlord to complete. What these guys do is they will help communicate with that landlord and make sure that the landlord has filled it out for you. Re-entry permit, my favorite topic. So when you have your non-B visa, the most important thing to remember is that if you go on holiday anywhere, you must get a re-entry permit. That is a piece of paper that you can get from immigration or from the airport that basically says this person is allowed to come. I know that you guys remind our teachers about the re-entry permit, but there is always one, right? Every summer, every holiday we have, there's always someone that goes out of the country, doesn't get a re-entry permit, and then tries to re-enter. And is their non-B visa valid if that happens? No. You will start the entire process again for your non-B visa and work permit. So that's another, 3 or 4 months of waiting, of processing. And unfortunately to say, because you are the one at fault for not getting a re-entry permit, you are then the one to pay that 9,000 baht again. We won't cover you this time. So get your re-entry permit. When you have your non-B, please get a re-entry permit for our sake and for yours. All right. So the last things I just want to talk about is a couple of really important considerations and things that I've noticed in my time here at Sine, as well as from my experiences of being a teacher. So you can see right now there's 5 of them, right? We can all count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These guys not only process all of Sine's teachers, but you process all of the teachers for our sister company as well. Which means that they are processing over 400 visas every year. That means 2 things. Number 1, it means you are in ridiculously safe hands. They know exactly what they're doing everything correctly, they're doing it as fast as they can and within the time frames that they have and within the constraints that they have to fit in with. So please rest assured that everything is going smoothly and moving in the right direction. So the other thing that means is, as I've said, they're processing a lot of teachers, which means that they have a lot of things to do. So on your side, it might feel like it's taking a long time, but we often will get teachers who have submitted their paperwork and they're already sending you emails, where is this, when is this, when is this, and it's only been a week or 2, a minimum of 6 weeks. And if you're joining in May, at the beginning of the school year, well, there's not just our 400 or 500 teachers, there's an entire country's worth of teachers being processed at that time, especially if you're working in Bangkok. Please rest assured that we are doing everything as fast as we can. So please approach our FTA team with kindness and with understanding, and just trust that they are managing this process effectively and professionally on your behalf. It's actually something that I found quite a dark revelation when I first started working here, was when I would speak to these guys and they would say, oh, that teacher, they're so lovely, they're so wonderful, they're amazing, we want more teachers like that. And I would say, why? And they would say, oh, because they're just really friendly. Which shows that more often than not, these guys are dealing with frustration from our teachers and from irritation and from rude emails. Again, please approach these guys with kindness and understand that they are doing everything they can to do all of this process as fast as possible, not only for you, but for their own sake. Being patient and being kind doesn't just apply to these guys. It also applies when you're at immigration. Now, if you speak to absolutely any expat that has spent any time living in Thailand, absolutely all of them, including myself, will say that sitting for a long time at immigration is pretty much a guarantee. There's going to be a day where you spend a good few hours at immigration kind of waiting about. It is what it is. There are some hoops that you must jump through and some barriers that you must cross in order to live in this wonderful, fantastic country. Don't question why. Just say, okay, that's fine. It is what it is. So the reason why is if you start getting angry and frustrated and rude to your immigration officer, do you really think that that is going to speed up the process? It's not, is it? No. If one of the teachers is rude to the immigration officer, is it likely that their application is going now to the bottom of the pile? Yeah, it is. So your 3 or 4 hour wait at immigration has turned into 8 or 9 hours. All right? Be nice, be polite, sit politely, listen and nod, follow the instructions of our staff at immigration. Actually, another really important thing to mention is our staff that we have at immigration. The incredible Pina Long, who will meet you at immigration and guide you through and knows absolutely every single person who works there, and they all know him, and he is fantastic. He's the fastest Thai man I've ever seen. He is amazing. He says sit there, sit there. If he says stand here, stand here. If he says go to counter 14, go to counter 14, all right? Just follow the instructions and your experience there will be very, very easy and very, very smooth. Believe me, it could be a lot worse, but it will be a lot easier for you if you just smile, wait patiently, take your time, take a deep breath, and just let it happen. Because once you've done that, that's it, right? There are only a few other times that you might go to immigration, one of those being the aforementioned re-entry permit. But the other thing to talk about is the 90-day report, right? So this is something that our teachers are going to need to do. Could you tell me a little bit about the 90-day report?
When they get the visa working and work permit every 3 months, they need to do a 90-day report. But 90-day report for first time they cannot do in the online system. For the second time, third time onwards, they can submit in the online systems. But it's we can remind them.
It's not really even something that you need to consider. It will be your first 90-day report. You just go to immigration and submit the 90-day report. You won't be there long. There's it's quite a quick process. After that, you can just do it on the internet. It's really, really easy. You basically just go on and click, yes, I'm still here. So, our team here, they're helping you with visas, work permit, health insurance, 90-day reports, following up with your landlord for the TM30, following up with the police for your criminal background check, your re-entry permits, reminding you when holidays coming up, reminding you about your 90-day report, reminding you about this, that, and the other. So there's 5 people here are pretty much responsible for our teachers and their ability to legally stay and work in the country, which means that we absolutely could not survive without them. So if you do choose to join Sine, understand that the people who are processing your visa and your work permit are working ridiculously hard and are having to constantly navigate ever-changing regulations, ever-changing rules, updates to this immigration, this process, that process. They're working ever so hard. So please, treat our FTA team with kindness and respect because they're working very hard on your behalf to make sure that you are here legally and can stay here for as long as you so wish. So, thank you very much, all of you, for joining me today and sharing a little bit about the amazing work that you do and how you support our teachers. And to anyone watching, if you are interested in coming out to Thailand and teaching for an agency with excellent head office staff and with staff who really, really care about your well-being and care about providing the best experience for you, then visit our website. You can tune in every other week to our podcasts to find out more from our head office staff, from our teachers and from our students. And until that time, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you.